1. Matthews off balance, off the glass. Dudley Bradley's defense did it.
And ready on his second attempt. That one is no good. They battle for it. Loose ball. Recovered Marvin. He scores. Pushes into Hubert Davis. 8 seconds. Davis trying to get free. Over to Fox. Fox, baseline. Up for the shot. Good. Off the glass. Oklahoma calls timeout. But the game is over. The game is over. Carolina has upset number 1 Oklahoma.
Turns it over. Kenny Williams with the steal. Gets it to Barry. 17 seconds to go. Barry, Duke not fouling. Gets it to Johnson. To Pinson for the highlight.
Inbounds goes deep on the right sideline to May.
Holy smokes, a long three!
Are you kidding me?
Holy cow!
Pinson gets all the way to the rim, and what a way to pick up his first field goal of the season by throwing down the tomahawk.
With 20 seconds left to play, goes back to Michael Jordan, jumper from out on the left, good! 63-62, 13, 12, 11, Georgetown with 1 timeout. Fred Brown looking, way to Worthy! Worthy 5! The Tar Heels are going to win the national championship!
Rebounded by Weber. Michigan out of timeout. Weber front court. Carolina with foul. He takes the timeout. They're out of timeout. Technical foul. Technical foul. Brown gets it into Williams. Here comes Williams front court. Williams on the drive. Gets it back out to head. Long outside shot. Short rebounded. May. It's over. Carolina has won the national championship. How about them Tar Heels? They are the national champions.
That's it! Make room for 2017. The Tar Heels are the national daggum champions.
This is the Roy's Boys Podcast with your host, Joshua Marlowe.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Roy's Boys Podcast, powered by Carolina Electrical Services. Josh and Anthony, we are back, and we are sick. So I want to go ahead and forewarn you guys as we try to power through this.
Yeah, this is going to get rough, folks.
Both powering through, I guess, the crudge just going around, I guess, everywhere. I got it from work. I gave it to Anthony because we're that close, and I gave him my sickness. And now we are going to try to battle through a basketball podcast. We just did football, and that was well over an hour because Anthony kept talking, and I kept on getting sicker. But yeah, we've got a loaded show today.
We got to power through like a Roy Williams practice after 3 games in a week, and the last game was not a good performance.
Yeah,
we just got to power through.
There's going to be a lot of running in this episode of the podcast because we've got a lot to do.
We're breathing heavy already.
We are a week away from the college basketball season officially tipping off next Tuesday. Carolina, of course, plays next Wednesday at home against Notre Dame. So this is effectively our season preview podcast. So with that, that means that our basketball segments that I had last year during the season, the opening tip, is back. And so is another segment at the end of the show. Last year it was called the Buzzer Beater. I have now changed that to the 3-point shot.
Terrible.
In which there will be, that's right, 3 points that will be made in that segment revolving Carolina basketball.
What if you get fouled? Is there a fourth point that can be added? A 4-point play.
See, now, you made fun of that, but there is a possible for a and one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, God. By the way, this was not a group decision. This was his decision, which is fair because
it's my podcast.
When I do the Heel Tough Blog podcast, when I create segments or change things, I just usually consult myself. So it is fair, but be warned that I did tell him that I was not a fan of this.
He's just mad that I made a dad joke with the segment. The segment is going to be fine. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I like the buzzer beater. I thought it was good.
You want to stick with the buzzer beater?
No, I mean, it's your podcast.
No, that's it.
Oh,
We're going to stick with the buzzer beater.
Unbelievable.
The ally, the Robin to my Batman, has spoken.
The Theo to your Joel has
Yes. We will
in.
stick with the buzzer beater in a surprising turn of events.
Oh.
Which means we don't have
Stunning.
The thing is he didn't want to create. We'd have to record a new segment.
It's
for
not
him.
even that. It's just
we're that lazy. We'll just be that honest.
I don't think that. No, I don't even have the. Do we have the buzzer beater?
Yes, it's on my.
It's on there.
It's on my USB,
no,
which you have.
No, we can do it, but we got to think of a different one. I understand the buzzer beater because most people would think, okay, it's like one. It's a very short segment. It was a little bit longer. The 3-point shot, I
didn't like the dad joke. You didn't like the dad joke I made about it.
It's very corny. But I feel like I'm trying to think of like something like you're not going to name it like the late game scenario, but something that you could kind of connect it.
Regardless.
Yeah, we'll figure it out eventually. This is how we do it. We do show prep on air. We used to do this when we were at the broadcasting school, and now we're doing it here for you guys.
We're going to move on.
Maybe we should let the fans pick.
No, we don't have to.
Okay, there we go.
With the first opening tip of the 2019-2020 basketball season, earlier in the week I had Archansky come on, a famous Carolina basketball writer. He joined me to look ahead to the upcoming season, and here is his interview in the 2019-2020 first opening tip.
Appreciate you taking some time out of your day to come on here and talk with us. First things first, Carolina was picked in the preseason polls second in the ACC. Kind of came as a mild surprise to me. What did you think of Carolina's preseason prediction in the ACC?
Well, that's on brand name, and Carolina's always going to get that, just as Duke will, the nod because of their brand. But when you look at Carolina, Roy Williams, there's a couple of things. The bad news is that Roy has to be a bit of a chemist here, and he wasn't a chemistry major in college, to put all of these new faces together. A team that lost 4 starters and its 5 leading scorers, and has 6 new players on the roster. So, and 2 of them are graduate transfers who are only there for 1 year. So it's a unique blend of kids that Roy has. Now, the good news to all of this is if you look at their roster, their 7-man rotation is pretty much set. Who starts among those 7 hasn't been decided yet, but you've got returning players, Leaky Black, Brandon Robinson, Garrison Brooks, and then you've got newcomers, Cole Anthony, obviously, Armando Bacot, and Justin Pearson, Christian Keeling. So those 7 are going to be. There's nobody else in that roster, Joshua, that could crack that top 7, in my opinion. I mean, you've got Andrew Platek, who's back. You've got a couple of freshmen, Jeremiah Francis and Anthony Harris, who've both been battling injuries. So the question for Carolina is, and it's not that big of a deal because Roy might even switch the starting lineups around depending on who's playing well and what the matchups are for certain games. But the others, who will give Carolina that traditional depth that they've had? Who are going to be the guys that claim the other 2 or 3 spots to make them go 9 or 10 deep? Like Andrew Platek, obviously he's a junior and he's played well in spots. Sterling Manley, who's still battling physical problems, has got the body and the wingspan to play. And then KJ Smith, there's got to be a backup point guard somewhere. Now Leaky Black can play point guard, but KJ Smith, Kenny the Jet's son, got a scholarship and he's been around and he might be able. But Cole Anthony's not coming off the court unless he absolutely has to. That's just how important he is. Even more important to the team than Kobe White was last year, because you don't have the players around Cole Anthony that Kobe White had. So the good news is, Roy can be working with those 7 players pretty much every single day, because that's the blue team, I guess the white team. They put the white jerseys on the starters. So that group can be working to build cohesiveness, even though there are new players in there. There's 4 new players. So that's the good news. But overall, this team, I don't see it at this point last year that were 5 starters, the 5 leading scorers, 4 starters, and Nasir Little are gone, and 6 new players joined. So it'd be interesting for Carolina. I think they picked a little high, but it's a brand name, and that's what preseason polls are for you guys. And I used to be interested in it, but I'm not anymore because it really depends on what they do on the court.
Right.
Season starts.
So you just mentioned a lot about Cole Anthony, and he comes in with a lot of preseason accolades. 1 MVP of the McDonald's All-America game, the Jordan Classic, number 2 recruit in high school, son of a former national champion and NBA All-Star. How much pressure is there on Cole Anthony to produce at a high level? As you mentioned, he's going to be the best player on this team from day one. And is there any more added pressure after we saw Kobe White flourish as a freshman under Roy Williams a season ago?
No, I don't think so, because I think Cole Anthony's good enough. I mean, people since the 8th grade, coaches and people watching play said he was kind of a killer, which means that he was just a confident, dominating player. His father was Greg Anthony. He comes from a long line of athletes, and he's won all these awards, as you said, in big-time high school games. I don't see it as pressure. Now, anytime he has a bad game, Kobe White had games we couldn't miss, and then he had games we couldn't make one. So that'll probably happen. But as somebody who is, Kobe could, if Cole Anthony came to Carolina and Kobe White stayed, they could have played together in the backcourt, because Kobe's kind of a combo guard. Could have played 2 guard. I think Cole Anthony is more of a pure point guard. So he needs to distribute the ball better. And, Kobe was a pretty good ball handler. He would drive into double teams and sometimes take ill-advised shots. But he was a scorer in high school. I mean, he's the North Carolina high school scoring all-time leader. Cole Anthony's more of a pure point guard. He's a little smaller, but he can shoot it. He can also handle it, drive it, and do all the things a point guard can. And he's got that pedigree. I mean, Phil Ford, 40 years ago, you're way too young to remember, but when Phil Ford came out of Rocky Mount High School and went to Carolina, his first 2 games were so bad that I was a young newspaper guy at the time, and I even wrote a column asking, is this Ford and Edsel? The Edsel used to be the old Ford product that busted after a few years. And then look what happened to Phil Ford. So I don't think that there's pressure on Cole Anthony in the traditional sense. But will it take him a few games to adjust to the level of competition? He's been playing against not a very good or very deep bench in practice every day. He did really well against Villanova in the so-called secret scrimmage, which isn't so secret anymore.
Right.
The other day. So that was a good indication that he can play. I don't think. The interesting thing, it'll be 2 years in a row that Roy has a point guard that's gone one and done. And then who's he got bringing in next year? It's really turned college basketball upside down. And now with Carolina getting through that academic situation that kept a lot of 5-stars from coming because of negative recruiting, he's going to start, as Coach K said, at the end of the year last year, I think the second Duke Carolina game, they asked him about the one and dones, and he said, Carolina will find out. I mean, he was saying that he knew Carolina was out of the woods now and this other thing, and now they're going to start getting these kids. Now, whether they'll take 3 and 4 in 1 year like Krzyzewski has done, I don't know. But Carolina will start getting him, and the game is the whole thing has really changed. I hate it because the fans don't get a chance to really embrace and get to know these kids as family, and that to me that's what college basketball was about all those years. So, but it is what it is, and ACC basketball used to be 7 teams at one point. Now it's 17 or 15 or something like that. So we'll see. It will be an exciting season. I think Carolina's overrated at this point. Duke might even be overrated, but Duke gets the brand name, and they have the guys coming in